The New England Patriots just got head-scratching news. Let's talk about it. My name is Aaron on the Daily Patriots content. Don't miss out. All you got to do, subscribe, notification bell, hit the like button. Takes you 2 seconds, 3 seconds, who knows? Maybe you're quick. Do it quick. I truly appreciate it. Now, we know that right now a lot of talk is about potential in 2025, who's going to do what, who's going to surprise us, all these different things. And a lot of people are coming out with lists. And when lists come out, a lot of people can get triggered. And I'm not saying I'm triggered, but I feel like maybe just a little bit, because this is absurd. This ranking coming out of Pro Football Network, ranking the top sophomore quarterbacks from 1 all the way down to 6, and it's a little crazy. Some of them at the top, not surprised. Again, you're probably not going to be surprised. Jaden Daniels obviously brought the Commies to the NFC Championship game. Bo Nix, I believe it was an 8-year drought for the Denver Broncos, brought them back into the playoffs, only obviously to get killed by the Bills. But regardless, the rest of the list kind of baffles my mind, because the list isn't just based on what they did in 2024, but it's also based on the potential they have in 2025. This is crazy. Let's jump into it. So on that list, oh, by the way, there we go. If you haven't subscribed, do it already. I'll ask you one more time. I won't beg you though. Sophomore QB ranks. So Daniels number 1, no surprise. Bo Nix number 2, also no surprise. But then you have Caleb Williams, a guy who I would argue drastically underperformed his rookie year. Had substantially better talent than Drake May when it came to wide receivers. Offensive line, I would agree. They had a rough offensive line. They also had injury issues, all these different things. But when it comes to the weapons that were at his disposal, much better than Drake May's. No one can argue that point. They brought people in, big name people in, veteran receivers in, to come and help Caleb Williams. And he still had a struggling season in Chicago. I am starting to think a quarterback cannot be successful in Chicago. My buddy is a Bears fan. He is a Bears fan. And I tell him all the time, how does it feel to know you have never had a 4,000-yard passer, but somehow, some way, a pope, which there have been popes, I'm not Catholic, but there's been popes for it would have to be thousands of years. There's 200 some popes. If Peter was the first pope, it's pretty crazy. So it's been a long time. The Vatican has a pope from Chicago before Chicago has a 4,000-yard passing quarterback. Let that sink in for a second. Wild. Anyways, I digress from that. But then they have the audacity to put Drake May right after Caleb Williams. And let me defend Drake May even more. Drake May last year, I'm not going to say his numbers were sexy, the best, but again, it was enough where he was on the back burner to make the Pro Bowl, ends up making the Pro Bowl. With what he had, he did, I would say, exceptionally well and flashed a lot of potential. Now we move forward to 2025, which this list puts into effect. Everything has been upgraded. Everything. We're talking offensive line. Am I saying it's the best offensive line in the league? No, but it's substantially better than last year. Then on top of that, the wide receivers. You bring in Stefon Diggs. When he's back from injury, from his ACL injury, will be a tried and true number 1 who has a chip on his shoulders that wants to prove everyone wrong that he can still play in the NFL and he can play at his highest level. Then you have Pop Douglas that has shown potential as well in the slot. He struggled because, listen, he hasn't had the best quarterbacks in the past 2 years. But then you still have people like Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper, Kyle Williams, who is a huge potential rookie at wide receiver who can play all 3 different positions at wide receiver. Then you have Mac Hollins, Kayshon Boutte, that is blossoming into what could be a great wide receiver for this team. And then we go to running backs out of the backfield. Ramondre Stevenson, he has a line. Hopefully he has his fumbles fixed. And then on top of that, you can throw it to him, Travion Henderson, or Antonio Gibson. Listen, things are looking, in my opinion, much more up for the likes of Drake May than it is for Caleb Williams. And as well, you could argue the NFC North is much more of a challenge with, listen, 3 of those teams made the playoffs last year, and they were solid teams. So the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings. You're telling me you think, and then Drake May and the Patriots have to go up against the Jets twice and the Dolphins twice. Bills, yeah, that's tough. That's tough for sure. But you're telling me you think Caleb Williams is going to do better? I don't see it. I do not see it. Maybe I'm being way too biased. If I am, comment below. Tell me what you think. Again, I think this is ridiculous. I even would argue, based on moving forward into this 2025 year, I think I could argue J.J. McCarthy at that number 3 spot, though I would put Drake May at number 3, if not even number 2. But I would argue J.J. McCarthy over Caleb Williams as well. And you might say, Aaron, he has not played a snap in the NFL. I would agree. I know. But I've seen him play in college. And I've also seen that Minnesota Vikings team play quite a bit. And they have a lot of weapons at their disposal. And you know for a fact, if they gave up on Sam Darnold, who obviously at the end of the season went downhill for the Vikings, and they went with J.J. McCarthy, they think that obviously J.J. McCarthy is a much, much, much more special player with a lot more upside than Sam Darnold. So, say I'm biased, say I'm wrong, I don't care. Michael Penix, that sounds, that we'll see. He has a lot of weapons at his disposal too, but we will see moving forward. Got to let their play show. But again, I think it's frustrating. Kind of blows my mind. We'll see moving forward. But comment, oh man, sorry, the page didn't move over. That's my fault, guys. That's my fault. Anyways, it's summer. It is what it is. Sorry, my list was showing. Now it's not. It's frozen. I can't get it fixed. But list, once again, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, that's the controversy. Then Drake May, Penix, and J.J. McCarthy. Caleb Williams, way too high in my opinion. Drake May at least should be above him, bare minimum. Looking from last year and everything that's been added this year, things are only looking up based on how he played with what he had last year and then how everything's upgraded. No, you got to have him above Caleb Williams. Second, the other slide I have that for some reason isn't showing up, Mike Onwenu was just put on a list for one of the biggest draft gems of the past 5 years. If you remember, he was drafted out of Michigan, 6th round pick. He played right guard at the University of Michigan. If you are from Michigan, like me, you're probably wondering, well, why are you doing a Patriots thing? I lived in Maine for a little bit, moved back to Michigan where I was born and raised. But regardless, if you know anything about Michigan, Cass Tech is a big-time high school. That's where Mike Onwenu went. It's downtown Detroit. It's actually a beautiful high school, very nice. A lot of money has been poured into that. But he's of, I believe, I can't see the slide right here, but he's played in 81 games. He started 73 of those. Some of those games he has started at tackle or guard. We know last year that he started at the first, I believe, 3 games at right tackle, then was moved to right guard. So he's been asked to do a lot. But for a 6th round pick to have started in 73 games, and for the most part, not being an issue, not being a problem, and going out there and doing what he's supposed to, that is a gem. So good for Mike Onwenu. As well, he got an extension last year, 3 years, 57 mil. Man deserved it. He was one of the only saving graces last year on that offensive line. So thank goodness for him. Thank goodness that people are giving him the recognition that he deserves. So anyways, comment below. Tell me what you guys think. Enjoy the day. Hit the subscribe button. We'll talk later. Peace.